Welcome back to another episode of Important Miscellaneous Talks. I am your host, Glasser Crossfield. We are changing the world one podcast at a time. And today we have the West Coast legend with us here today. Please introduce yourself.
This Malone, the one and only Eshai. What's happening?
Yo, you West Coasters have a very interesting slang.
OD, OD, real talk.
We're from New York, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it really I think we would say the same about y'all. You know what I mean? You've been hearing New York slang like as soon as you turn on rap records since I've been a little kid. So I don't think we got it as much as y'all. Y'all talk be drenched in it.
Um, how'd you come up with your name?
My name was a joke. You know what I'm saying? They used to make fun of me when I was 12 years old. My older homies, 12, 13 years old. It was like I had one pair of glasses because I had really bad vision. I used to always squint, you know what I'm saying? Like tighten my eyes to see. And my mom got me a pair of glasses. And after the first day or two, I lost them. And I went back to squinting. So everybody was like, man, where's your glasses at? You just had your glasses. So the name was like kind of people making fun of me from my neighborhood. And you fight a couple people, do a couple things, it started sounding like it was like on purpose and like it's something special, but really it was a joke. And I just stayed with it, like how you get a real nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. So what were some of the things that drew you to music in the first place?
It's funny, my mom is a super music head. Growing up, I never thought about making music. You know what I mean? That was never my thing. Like I didn't rap in school. I didn't rap in high school. None of the above. Um, Really, my little brother started rapping. So how I remember the first time I rapped, I was just messing with one of my homeboys, and he was battle rapping. He was more into like like he's a Nas guy. I'm a Jay-Z guy. He's a Nas guy. So he was
Mm-hmm.
like he was a rapper. So he kind of started dissing me like rapping, and I just started putting bars together and rapping back and forth with him. That's how I remember rapping first
Mm-hmm.
time. And my younger brother came home from YA. His name is K Style 117. Check him out. He's really dope. But he came home from YA and he wanted to rap. And he wanted me to rap with him. And my mom was trying to, figure out a way to keep him out of trouble. So she wanted me to do whatever needed to be done. And that's how I started recording kind of in any real capacity. I was like 22.
Got you. How do you know?
Now I'm 43 now.
Time flies. Wow.
Yeah, fast. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just starting really to get good at rap in my mind. You know what I mean? Like probably within the last 9 years, I thought I started to turn a curve to where I understood exactly what it was and what made it great as far as hip hop and rap music in general.
Who are some of the people that you have the pleasure of working with in the industry?
Oh man, it's a long list. I was signed to Cash Money Records, so every artist within Cash Money Records, Lil Wayne at his pinnacle. My career started with Black Wall Street, The Game, and Big Face Hunted. So The Game at its pinnacle. Snoop Dogg. I mean, it's a really dope list. Mac 10. I've been around some really prolific MCs.
And well, I guess I'm getting a little bit off topic. Where does the Malone in your name come from? You told us about the glasses.
So my big homie Pluck gave me the name Glasses Low, right? That's my gang name from 117th Street, Watch Crib. Um, the Malone is when I start rapping, he was like, yeah, you see, the way the blood's gonna fuck with you, we gonna call you Glasses Malone. Like, I don't know what he was thinking when he came up with all of this shit. I didn't really come up with it. I got a name the way you really get a name. Somebody named me, you know what I mean, by what they thought it was.
And what part of LA are you from? Like exactly, like because
Yeah, so
certain neighborhoods is Crip Blood, or like
so
Inglewood,
it's
South Central.
yeah, so it's weird, right? So I'm from Watts, right? Watts is a neighborhood in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Most people within Watts or Los Angeles think of Watts as its own city, but really it's a neighborhood within Los Angeles, like Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
Brentwood. Those are neighborhoods within the city of Los Angeles. So it's on the east side of Los Angeles, which means east of the 110 freeway. That's what separates it.
Mm.
As far as the gang, I'm from 117th Street Watch Crip. So that's right next to the Imperial Courts. If you ever seen Snowfall or Leon, they from PJ Watch Crip. That's like probably 1 minute away from where I'm from. Uh,
Oh,
Coolio, rest in peace. He's from 118th Street, the next street over. That's the Mona Park Compton Crips. They that close. So
Tyrese is from Watch too, right?
yeah, Tyrese is a Crip from Watts too. I mean, I don't know if he wants people to think of him as a Crip, but Tyrese is a Crip from Watts.
I didn't even know he was a Crip. I didn't even know he was a gang affiliate at all.
Yeah, Tyrese is a Crip. I mean, I don't know if I should be saying this if it's gonna mess up his money, but if you catch him, you go look on his page, he'll talk about Crip walking. If you hear him talk enough, if you get him loose enough, all the cousins will come out and Roman turns into Roman Loke. You feel me? He get the cripping and then be on.
Wow. So when did you first to like get into that lifestyle?
You born into it, dog. It don't. I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit that most people that's from a gang would never tell y'all, especially in Atlanta or anywhere else. Like where we from, you really born into it. These are your friends. And when I'm saying born into it, you're not born into crime, right? You born into your friends being your friends. And the poorer the section, everybody just isolates into smaller groups. So all of my friends from 117th Street, right, have been my friends probably since I was 6 years old. Same for my friends at my mom's house. So the only difference is as you get older with these particular friends, you start committing crimes with them. That's what turns you into really a gang member. But everybody in Los Angeles, if you came up when I came up, you're all from a gang. I mean, you may not be the infantry part, you may not be a criminal, but you grew up in this community and these is all your friends. So if something happens to you, these are the people that stand up for you. If you outside, hanging out with the people that grew up in the community like you. So when people say you're born into it, that's what they're talking about. They like, your friends, are your friends growing up your whole life.
Do you have any children?
No, zero.
All right. So, do you advise the youth to not join gangs, or do you say, "Hey, man, it is what it is. Do what you got to do"?
So it's weird, right? Because I would never, like, let's say if I had a kid, I probably wouldn't raise my kid on 117th Street. You know what I mean? I don't live on 117th Street now, so most likely my kid wouldn't be from 117th Street.
Right.
So it's when you ask me that, it's like asking me would I advise human beings to commit crimes, and it's like, well, it's circumstance. I don't kind of know your circumstances. My goal would be for nobody to have to, sell drugs to make a living, to feed their family. That would be the perfect goal. My goal would be for human beings to be able to go to McDonald's and in peace and nobody tripping. And you don't have to shoot somebody to stay alive or fight somebody to stay alive. Like that would be the goal. But when you from where we from, again, it's if I rule over with this iron fist, like, well, you don't have to do this. I'm not being realistic about the circumstances. If we lived in the jungle right now, you know what I mean? You might have to kill. You know what I mean? You may have to kill to eat. You may have to kill to survive. So, I hate that the places we grew up with, we grow up in are so poor and so messed up. So, of course, I would like a world where there was no crime, if that's what you're saying. But I'd advise you to do what it takes to survive. You know what I mean? I would advise you to also, I respect your desire to want to live a quality of life. Staying alive is not the only way to live. So I don't want to talk y'all into a circle. So it's like, I would hope nobody would have to be from a gang in a perfect world.
Right. You feel as though you're in a position to provide a better lifestyle for your children if you do decide to have some someday, so they wouldn't have to revert to crime.
Yeah. And they wouldn't live in a community where crime is dominant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hip hop where it's the, densely populated crime-ridden areas, they wouldn't live in that circumstances. So they would have to go find it. Then it's different. Now we could get on their ass. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's tough when you live there
Right.
For me to rule over you with iron fist, I have to be a lot more understanding about circumstances. So yeah, my circumstances, I've been blessed to make, more than a living. So my kids wouldn't be surrounded in a densely populated, crime-ridden place, you know, to have to deal with those circumstances. They would have to go find trouble.
Right.
So it's a unique circumstance.
You being a rapper and your music, uh, what artists, I know you said you're a Jay-Z guy, but besides that, in your music, where does your influence come from to make the music that you make? Is it West Coast rappers and the West Coast sound? Is it East Coast? Is it a mix of both? Is it, well, where does that come from?
That's been a journey in itself. You know what I mean? And when I first started off, I think it was so much Scarface and Beanie Siegel and Ice Cube and the things that I do. You know what I mean? This really kind of unique view into gangbanging. Like my shit is not super. I don't think nobody's is celebratory. Like I don't think people glorify gangbanging in music. I don't. I've heard a lot of music, and I've heard people say somebody glorified it. I've never heard anybody glorified it, right? But I do understand that people, deal with it in a way where it's like, okay, this is the circumstances, so I'm gonna just live the best life I can. I respect that. My stuff is more about the blues of it all. You know what I mean? The trauma of it all, how tough it is, every aspect of it. So those are the rappers to me that talked about street life and circumstances that, the toughness, Beans and Scarface. Scarface especially. Over the time, it's came through changes to now to me where I listen to it and it's a lot closer to, Snoop and Dre than maybe Cube as it used to be. You know what I mean? It's more like, okay, these are the circumstances and I'm proud of surviving the circumstances. I'm not really reflecting on how bad it is, like initially with my earlier music.
Got you. We oftentimes hear stories about rappers from the hood when they make it out. They typically don't give back in any form or fashion. Do you oftentimes go back to the neighborhood where you stem from and make sure that people are doing okay? Are you trying to see your neighborhood elevate?
Yeah, it's like they're my friends. I
Mm.
talk to them on the phone as often. I don't talk to them as often as I would like, but different ones. I might talk to this homie this week, the next homie next week. But everybody keeps tabs. You know what I mean? Like they're your childhood friends for the most part.
Do you by any chance know Boo Capone?
No,
Ah,
Mm.
it ain't striking a nerve if I do.
oh man, I wish you did, man. He's funny. So hip hop right now seems to be, in generally speaking, kind of going through a transition phase where a lot of things seem to be quiet right now. Do you have any idea what might be next for hip hop?
So I genuinely think hip hop is at a weird place, right?
That's a fact.
Hip hop being street urban culture, like when you hear the stories about the Bronx and the Spades and all the people that was at the inception of how we started to express ourselves in these particular style communities. Um, I just think we're at a place now to where everybody's trying to figure out how to do it in a refreshing manner. I mean, this shit 50 years old now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like slang. When I was growing up, y'all are a little younger than me. When I was growing up, the only way you digested slang from Brooklyn or from Flatbush, whether Queens, anywhere, would be through records. That's how you heard it. That was the only way you could hear slang from the Bronx, slang from Harlem, slang from Queens, slang from Brooklyn, slang from Staten Island. That's the only way you could hear it over a rap record. There was no movies. You know what I mean? It wasn't enough of that so you could hear us talk where we come from. Now with social media, closing the gap almost instantly. Like I could find out if something happened to somebody from, Detroit, Michigan, faster than the news could tell me. I could find out he could be from, you know, 7th Mile and it could have been a crazy shootout. And I could find out before the news tells me. I could find out instantly on Instagram. So that's how fast culture is moving. Like we're we're getting it faster to where, once we start talking a certain way, you'll look on First Take within 2 days and they're talking like that on First Take on ESPN. So I think hip hop is trying to find itself, trying to find a way to be dynamic and new. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it feels like it's getting stale at times, because it's like, damn, like, what could you really do? Like, if you do something, I already know what you're doing. I already know what you're doing. Like, slang is going national before it's even like, on records.
Yeah, I mean slang. Honestly, if there's something slang that I don't understand, I just go right to Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just
I
crazy.
Google
Like,
it.
I remember hearing people like say B, son, God, kid. I'd be like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, it took me years to figure out what the fuck that meant. You know what I mean? I had to find somebody that I knew lived out there. Then I start asking them. Somebody told me, matter of fact, we was in school and he was like, oh, I went to, New York for the summer. And it's like, oh, what this mean? What this mean? You had to, so it made the records much more like a foreign, foreign escape versus today. Like, if people just trying to figure out who invented the word ops, like it wasn't, Chicago, and that wasn't their slang, but because it went so national so fast, who started saying 12? I think that's Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I don't quite know where slang is even coming from, because before you look up on social media, everybody's talking like that, and that's the culture in itself.
What about the state? What is your stance on the state of West Coast rap right now in the game?
Same thing for New York. It lacks really quality producers. So you got a bunch of people just rapping over beats as best as they can, and going to wherever they think the sound can fit. You know what I mean? Finding things that could fit. Maybe a lot of rappers are getting music from Detroit, people producing Detroit style of music, and it's a lot of confusion. Same thing like in New York, where you're just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? You're trying to, score the lifestyle as best as you can. So it's in desperate need of more producers to step forward and make records that fit the landscape.
Since we talking, go ahead, Paul.
No, it's just interesting that I didn't think about it in that sense. I didn't think about the producers. I think mainly the rappers, but it starts with the producers
It
anyway.
always have, man. If you go to the, you know, if you ask most people, in a public light, where did hip hop come from, it's gonna start with a DJ producer. Every great, movement had a great producer behind it. So if we start early on with Def Jam, you could talk about Larry Smith or Rick Rubin. You can early New York, you can go Marley Marr. You know what I mean? Wu-Tang, the whole Wu-Tang movement is RZA. The whole Bad Boy movement is Puff and Tony Polk and the Hitmen. And then Death Row is Dr. Dre. Ruthless is Dr. Dre. Everything Quick, Sugar Free, all of these younger, West Coast legends at that time, it's DJ Quick producing it. It's always been Cash Money is Manny Fresh. No Limit is Beats by the Pound. It starts with the sound. This is music first, so it starts with the sound.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that perspective.
It was over for No Limit when they lost Beats by the Pound. Cash Money, it was a blessing to have Young Money evolve, because Cash Money has been, figuring it out since Manny Fresh left. It's a tough out because you're trying to replace pretty much a genius at a certain place.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm thinking of the Just Blaze. I'm thinking of Timberlands. I'm thinking of the Swiss Beats, but they're not as. I don't want to say they're not as active.
Oh, that's the right word.
Okay.
Yeah, Battle Cat's not active. Warren G is not active. Daz is not super active.
Yeah,
and
Daz.
It started in the mid 2000s. Our respective coasts were doing well because we had producers producing the next wave of talent. And once this would probably be the West, at that time, that would be, this is post Exhibit with Dr. Dre. So you start talking about early to mid 2000s, the East Siders was the last thing to break, and that was because of DJ Battle Cat.
The
But
East
after
Side is
that,
out of Atlanta.
no, DJ Battlecat, Eastsiders is a group that was Snoop's group. You got to check that out. It's
Oh,
like super West Coast, like
okay.
like spiritual, is biblical for the West Coast. But that was a
Um,
double platinum group that Snoop Dogg put together. Legendary Tradie from Long Beach, Goldie Loc from Long Beach, and had a double platinum album. You know, great songs, but produced by DJ Battlecat, who is one of the greatest producers from the West Coast in history. But he never produced an act after 2003. He never produced a whole album for multiple artists. DJ Quick, after you know Mossberg or Sugar Free never produced a new artist outside of that until they got to Problem in 2012. Warren
um,
G never produced a new act. DJ Slip, who is Compton's Most Wanted, never produced a new act. When was the last time Swiss Beast produced a new act, a brand new act in New York? Puff.
Mm.
Shit, Premiere. When?
DJ Premier. Yep.
It's been a long time. They don't really, do it. And and if they are doing it now, there was a wave where they went years without sonically presenting new talent. So hip hop starts and ends with the DJ/producer.
I mean, you got these Atlanta niggas running it right now. All these producers coming from Atlanta doing these Atlanta type beats.
But that's Zaytoven, you know what I mean, who
Yeah.
came and he started bringing a flavor to the younger guys and mentoring a lot of the younger guys. He don't get credit. Mike Will, who bridged over. Future, who was a product of the Dungeon family, and you know what I mean, like it's some things happening that you just not counting. They're doing a much better job of passing DNA of yesterday into today to make tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Our sides, respectively, is not doing that. They're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing that. Who is Swiss Beats? Swiss Beats needs to produce a new artist. He needs to break a new artist. He needs to invest into a new producer. That's how it works.
Interesting. So, since we're on producers, what is your Mount Rushmore for producers all time?
It's tough.
It's probably gonna be Dr. Dre.
Definitely.
As far as hip hop goes, right? We're talking Dr. Dre, talking about Kanye.
Okay.
Interesting.
This is gonna sound crazy, but it's hard to decide for me between RZA and Tone and Poke. That's a tough one.
I feel
But
you.
the more I learned about RZA and what he was able to do for Staten Island, that don't even make sense. That's impossible.
Nah, seriously,
Yeah,
because there would be no. Because
that's
even
just like crazy.
here in New York, we don't even if it wasn't for Wu-Tang, Staten Island would be nowhere in nobody's discussion. I swear to God. But if it wasn't for RZA, putting in the work that he did for the group, like Wu-Tang wouldn't be what it is.
It's just impossible. So it's really hard. Give me a second. I'm gonna come back to that one. But Manny Fresh would be on that. Manny Fresh or Jermaine Dupri. I like Manny Fresh because I feel like Cash Money Records is the greatest independent hip hop label of all time. You know what I mean? Like Def Jam became a major, so I don't count Def Jam, but it's tough to beat, Cash Money Records in that run. You know what I mean? That run was crazy.
They gave us a lot of Cash Money, Young Money, which is, they gave us a lot of big name artists. I think Manny Fresh is definitely slept on. Especially where he come from New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Definitely the best out of New Orleans.
Yeah. So it's to me it's between him and JD. So it would be Dre, Ye. Let's just go Tone and Poke for the measure. You feel me? Let's just go Tone and Poke for the measure.
And Puff is nowhere to be found?
Well, because I could say Puff instead of Tone and Poke, but
JD over Puff is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
But you know what's crazy is it's weird because JD is tough. Like JD is before Puff, hits before Puff, after Puff, during Puff. Now Puff impactful hits is crazy. You know what I'm saying? You start talking about some shit, but JD is one of them dudes, and it's JD. I'm gonna correct that. That is JD in that spot. So it's Dre, Ye,
Manny Fresh.
no. JD and Puff.
Ooh.
I'll
Okay.
let Puff have it, but really it should be Tone and Poke if I put respect on niggas that get busy named. But you know, we do give credit to Juicy, to Puff as well as Tone and Poke. So we can't, producing is more than making
Okay.
beats. So I'm a correct, producing
Okay.
is what it is. So yeah, I'm rocking with that. That's Dre, Ye, JD, Puff. That's it right there. I'm gonna
I
stand
think
right there.
Ye is a sleeper. I
Yeah.
see why you did that. Because he was working on the blueprint, right? He
Yeah,
gave Jay Z
yeah.
some crazy records.
Yeah,
Some
man.
crazy
Yeah,
records.
it's crazy, man. Yeah, it's so nasty, man. That motherfucker get busy. You know what I mean? He's a scientist with that shit. So yeah,
So, yeah,
I gotta put respect on what he do. You know, if I'm keeping it real, I gotta put respect on what he does.
yeah. Because he took samples to a whole nother level.
You know what? Even if he didn't take it to another level, he took it to the pinnacle of it. So because I don't think he quite did anything special,
Mm,
but he did it as great as it could be done over and over and over and over and
Consistent.
over. Like Otis, over. Otis is not something I've never heard before, but it was
yeah.
done with such perfection and craft that it's like, damn, this nigga just keeps doing this shit over and over and over and
Mhm.
over again. So that would be my Mount Rushmore of producers.
So all these producers you named, are these producers that you would work with for your own music?
I mean, so you have to work with those kind of guys. I mean, you would have to. You know what I mean, it's and they gonna get busy. Will they be the guys that I would want to work with? Probably not.
Who would you want to work with?
Who do I think I do? Swiss Beats. I
You
think
think he would
style is
help?
important. You know,
He would help with your sound?
styles make fights. You know what I'm saying? Like how I rhyme and my style. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I think all of them could make things work, but I think if I had to marry it to somebody, it would be Swiss Beats,
Mm,
Warren G. Warren G
okay.
is like really underrated. You gotta like really do your homework on Warren G.
Mhm.
You know what else nasty? Rest in peace. Dilla.
Oh
Dilla
my
is super
God.
nasty. I think me and Dilla's sound would work really well. And probably what's them boys? What's them boys from the South? Are they from the South? They used to do all raw shit. Justice League.
Justice League.
Yeah.
Nah, you know your
Those
shit.
would be who I would want to work with. Uh,
Nah,
So
niggas don't talk about Justice League like that.
yeah, they nasty. They like that, dog. They really like that. Like, you know what I mean? When I listen to music, like that shit is like as good as listening to like Curtis Mayfield. You know what I mean? And I don't
Mm,
mean it in like just this musical way. It's still hip hop records, but it's like really listening to Curtis Mayfield. You know what
yeah.
else is nice? Bink. Bink is nice too, though. Bink is
I don't
nice.
even know who that is.
So Bink started the sound that became Blueprint.
mm,
He has like
Really?
3 joints on it. He's the first nigga who everybody started hearing the beats. It was like, oh, okay, I see where we going. And they start making records like Bink records.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta do your homework on Bink. Bink out of VA. Bink is tough.
Oh, VA.
Yeah. Bink is
VA got some
tough.
hitters.
And VA got some shit. You know, Tim,
VA got some
you know what I
hitters.
said? Like it's some shit. The clips, Pharrell is right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you got
Um,
Chris, you got Trey Songz, you got Missy. Missy,
and it's funny
yeah.
because when you think, yeah, Missy as a producer,
Hmm.
Pharrell as a producer,
yep.
Timbaland as a producer, Bink as a producer, VA is like super duper, like top 5. You know what
Fake,
I mean? When it comes to
fake.
state producers, you know what I'm saying? Niggas sleep on them. And it's crazy because to some degree, they all come from Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley went and set up shop out there. So shout out to Harlem.
Oh,
You got to do the work, man. The work is crazy when you finally figure it out.
Aaliyah's she from New York or she from VA?
I don't know where Aaliyah's from. I just remember seeing Aaliyah when I was younger.
Because Timberland pushed her. So I'm thinking she from VA.
Was it no? But it wasn't Tim first. It was she was with R. Kelly first. R. Kelly did her music first.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He produced that shit. You're right.
Yeah, they broke her with well, Kel's broke her. You feel me? But Timbaland really is what we remember about her.
Yeah.
Timbaland is where we really,
He
really.
was born in Brooklyn.
There
Oh
you go.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Wow.
This next question, you might end up losing some friends, but that's why we here.
For sure.
Um,
As long as you know.
Mount Rushmore.
Okay, so yeah, I'll say Aaliyah was raised in Detroit, but she was a New York baby for 5-6 years of her life.
Okay, Detroit.
Motown. There we go.
I think Jay Dilla is the greatest thing to ever. We know, regardless of Motown, Jay Dilla is the greatest entity to come out of Detroit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do that. Man. I'm not gonna slight Motown. I love Dilla, but I'm not gonna even dare play that game. That's just too far. You gotta do your work on that. Motown, like they ran the table.
It did.
And Eminem's also from Detroit.
Oh, wait, what? You don't jack Eminem?
I fuck with him. I ain't look. Prime Eminem is like as good as rap could be.
Oh yeah, Prime.
Prime Eminem is good as rap. Rap Eminem right now is just sober. You know what I'm saying? He
oh
just,
my god.
Yeah.
He's dope as fuck. But
I agree, and I
I
love.
need to A&R's project. That's people be talking shit. If I wouldn't A&R the Eminem project, he'd give you a project that'll matter. You know what I mean within the culture. But Prime Eminem is as good as rap can be.
It's a bar. Mount Rushmore for the West Coast.
As far as mines or really deserving?
Let's do both. Okay,
so mine, what's really deserving, the guys who made they move is Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg, as rappers go, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, E40, and Too Short.
Interesting. No Dre?
I mean, he's a producer that people, not as a rapper.
He don't rap. He's not a rapper at all.
He can rap, but he don't write the rap.
No Kendrick?
You know what's funny?
That's really crazy. That's my favorite rapper.
You know what's funny? That is coming into conversation now, and it's been a really weird place to have to figure out where I would have to take somebody out. You know what I mean? So he's pushing his line for sure. But remember, I grew up listening to a lot of motherfuckers who've been on top, but Dot is making his case. This is almost 10 years. I mean, or is it 10 years? I think it is 10 years as of last year. Good Kid is 12.
Yeah,
So we're talking about 10 years. So he coming into, he's coming into GOAT status for real in a real way. So I'm sure I have to revisit that conversation within the next project. If next project is what it's supposed to be, we'll reconvene on that.
What's your 4 again? You said Snoop. Who else?
Snoop, Cube, 40, and Short.
40. The West Coast love E40, man. They love him some E40.
I don't get it. I don't get it,
man. And I get why other people don't get it. You know who E40 is? You know what I'm saying? No, because I feel it. E40 for us is like Prodigy for y'all.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
He just taught our shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like, we from Queens too.
Every nigga I know from New York just loves Prodigy. You cannot tell a New York, like it's niggas who will argue that Prodigy is the #1 MC from New York ever. And it sounds crazy to a nigga outside of New York, but
that's crazy.
That nigga is so New York to New York niggas, like, you know what I mean? Like you just can't. That's E40 for us. Like it don't get more West Coast popping it and ganged up and getting that motherfuckers crazy and talking crazy than E40. It don't get better than that.
E40. Wait, no. E40 is from the Bay. Too Short is from where?
The Bay.
Me too. Yeah.
He's from the Bay too.
Yeah.
San Francisco. Okay.
Oakland. No, it's Oakland. Too Short is from Oakland, and E40 is from a town called Vallejo. Mac Dre is from Vallejo.
Mac Dre.
E40 is from Vallejo. There's some cold legends from Vallejo that don't really get talked about. So but yeah, 40 is like, so when y'all thinking of that, that's how we feel about Prodigy. We be like, that's really y'all nigga like that, huh? Like
crazy.
niggas will kill you in New York over P.
Cause,
So I
cause
get it.
we from Queens too.
Oh
So
my
you know,
God.
so what you're saying about
Like
Prodigy is kind of crazy to
I know
say.
niggas, dog, who tell me Prodigy is better than LL or 50 Cent. And I'm like,
No, no,
for
no, no,
real?
no, no,
Lyrically,
Like
no.
any
Wait,
in
wait, wait.
any capacity. It's like that shit crazy, but niggas fuck with Prodigy. But that's our
That's a good
E40 is
comparison.
our E40 is our Prodigy, dog.
yeah,
It's
If
our
kind
we're
of.
nigga.
saying if we're saying lyrically, then he is better than 50 and LL.
See, y'all just talking crazy to somebody outside of New York. It's like, what?
You
No,
think
listen,
LL and 50 had bars?
Prime 50 is
no,
unfuckwittable, dog.
no.
On
Okay, yeah.
every landscape. That's like saying 50 had bars is like saying X had bars. Some things ain't about wordplay. It's just the power of what they saying. It's power of lyrics, not
Like,
just
he was a great
wit of
storyteller.
lyrics, power.
He was a great storyteller, which is
Yeah, feel
lyricism.
me? That's like
Bro, I
prime,
was just
like P, like
mhm.
40 is our Prodigy, dog. That's our guy. Like that's how y'all feel it. That's really how we feel about 40.
Wow.
That's
Y'all
interesting.
don't play about
Explain it
40.
to us like that.
They don't play about 40 because I remember I was in Oakland
Oh yeah,
last
we up for
summer.
40.
I was in Oakland last summer in a club in the trenches, bro. They bumping E40 crazy. I'm like,
It's
what is
up.
this?
It's up for man. It go up for I was gonna beat somebody up for dog, just because they was disrespecting
Damn.
me, dog. Like
I
it's
mean,
bro. Like
you
you gotta
gotta know
love
who you
40,
are.
dog.
You gotta know who you are. You feel me? You gotta.
Yeah.
I'm not
40
no
is
fool now.
but I know how to relate the material. That's our Prodigy.
Yeah.
So think about how
Okay.
y'all and y'all partners feel about P. That's how we feel about 40. Like he raised most of us and like he talk our shit. Like he pop it the way we pop it.
So who's your personal West Coast Mount Rushmore?
It's gonna be different. Uh Personally, Sugar Free. Like Sugar Free, y'all like Sugar Free is like, man, you never heard it done like that. You know what I mean? As far as a rapper goes, Free is a rapper. Sugar Free. Make sure y'all take some time. Go listen to a song. It's a song called I'd rather give you my bitch. Sugar Free.
Nah, but
You'll get the gist of what we love about him. Sugar Free would be there. Um, Dub C would be there. Dub C made a project called The Shadiest One, West Side Connection.
West
Dub
Side Connection.
be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Personal. Dog Pound. Corrupt would be there.
Okay.
Right? Because
Okay. I
Corrupt is
fuck with
gonna be
Corrupt.
there.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Corrupt is
I
gonna
fuck
be
with
there.
Corrupt. I fuck with
Uh
Corrupt. Dog Pound.
Corrupt is gonna be there. What else do I really be just damn? I be like, damn, I'll be just you'll be surprised. Like, he play all this dude shit. My Mount Westmore. You know, probably Quick, DJ Quick.
DJ Quick.
Yeah, like I fuck with Quick. I fuck with Quick music for real. In another way, personally.
Now, who's your Mount Rushmore of hip hop artists of all time?
Mine's or what should be. Because it matters, dog. Like it matters.
Yeah.
Mine's is different than what I can separate my favorite from what's the greatest.
Yeah, a lot of
So
people.
if it's just the greatest, feel me, and we're not talking about nobody who died, none of that shit, because Puff and it's gonna be Pac and Big or above the list. It's like
Of course, of
they're
course.
above the list. Snoop, Hove, M, Wayne.
And that's your should be list.
That's who is there. That's
That's
those
perfect.
guys.
Okay,
Right?
so
Now my list is different. My list is gonna be Scarface, right? It's gonna be Scarface. My list is gonna be Rick Ross.
What?
Yeah, I know,
Oh
right?
my
It's
God,
crazy.
that's
I fuck with
disrespectful.
Rose music, dog. I really
Jesus
fuck with it.
Christ.
I fuck with Rose music hard.
Wow. That blew me away.
Who else get me going? Cube. Prime Cube is like as good as
I
it
like
could
Cube.
be.
He can punch.
But you got to go Prime Cube. Prime Cube is as good as rap music can be. Like I can't say that about Rose, but I can say that about like Prime Cube is as good as rap music can be.
I like
Probably Jay. Jay would be there.
Jay.
Jay would probably be there.
Cause so why do you think Snoop is on that should be?
I told you he doesn't agree that Snoop is anything, which is crazy.
No. What? I
I
never
get
said
it.
that.
What the crap?
So, but you know what's funny because I feel how y'all feel. Like I get it. You know,
Because
I
bro,
grew up
just
listening
New
to
York,
Snoop
you
Dogg
have a Mount
shit.
Rushmore that's higher than Snoop. Just New York
Yeah,
alone.
like Snoop is the pinnacle of what hip hop or rap music is. Like he is the. If it was a mascot, it'd be Snoop Dogg. Like that's how you know what I mean. Important he is.
He's
But
entrenched in a culture, which I
yeah,
mentioned.
like when you think of what hip hop culture, street urban culture, Snoop is the greatest phenomenon of it. Like he really is not like he's really the most famous hip hop artist ever because he's a rapper. And when you go into the inception of it, like, you know, it being a nigga, you know, flowing at the party over breaks, rapping at the party over breaks, the best party in hip hop is a Snoop and Dre party. So if Dre is on the wheels, Snoop is on the mic. Like that, what party is better?
So you said what was that 4 games to Snoop and who else?
So it had to be Snoop. So it wouldn't be a Mount Rushmore. It'd be Snoop, Face, Hove, Rose. No, Snoop, Face, Hove, Rose, Cube.
And that's your personal, right?
Maybe yeah. Ye and Cube would have to duke it out.
Interesting. So the should be list. What was those?
Oh, the guys who I don't think get enough respect. Scarface could never get enough respect. Scarface
He's from Atlanta, right?
Atlanta? Scarface from Houston.
Oh, wow.
Scarface can never get enough respect.
DJ Screw.
Who else don't get enough respect? Exhibit don't get enough respect.
Interesting.
Yeah, Exhibit don't get enough respect.
Very interesting.
I don't know what's off in that, man.
It's gonna sound crazy, but Eminem don't get enough respect.
Low key, but that's because his recent projects haven't been.
Yeah, they're not for us. But I mean, if you have the kind of years he had at the pinnacle, fuck what the rest of it looked like. You see what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? Like you talking about a 4-year run that was like better than as great as it could be, if not better than anyone's. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a tough out. And who else don't get enough respect? Really, Wu-Tang. Like I feel like Nas gets the credit that Wu-Tang deserves.
Interesting. So, but would you put Wu-Tang ahead of Nas?
No.
Hell no.
On the list that's proven, no. On a list of where it should be, probably so. Yeah. Wu-Tang is like, even when you think about that time period and you go back to Illmatic, like, you know, New York has selected, you know, Nas to be their prince. You know what I'm saying? Like they was like, yo, this is going to be what we're doing. This is what we want to present to the rest of the world. And sure as shit, they just start shoving it down everybody's throat. Like it was like, yo, this is what you need to be fucking with. But the world had made choices on other New York artists within that 12-month period. Wu-Tang, we chose Wu-Tang and we chose Big. Simple as that, you know what I mean? But New York never stopped shoving, you know what I'm saying, Nas down our throat. It was like, yo, no, fuck that. This is what it need to be. And then obviously, you know, when he came back where it was written, you was like, oh, okay, I see what they hyped over. Because at first it was like, bro, what are y'all hyped over? It's like, oh, he's 18. This is the first album that has major producers. Like, that's not the first album to have multi-major producers come together. He wrote it at 18, yeah, but we've heard LL Cool J was 17. You know what I'm saying? Like everything they tried to push a line with, it was like, come on, bro. Like this y'all guy, we get it, but like y'all pushing this too hard. But it was written, came out, and you start hearing you start hearing, you're like, oh, I get it. It makes sense. Like this nigga's one of those guys for sure.
Illmatic at 18?
He's gonna be around. Yeah, but see, here y'all go with that.
That is insane, though. That is
When
insane.
I listen back to Illmatic, I'm like, how is an 18-year-old rhyming like this? Is
Don't grade on
crazy.
a curve, man.
What?
This ain't like the retarded class. We don't grade on a curve.
Bro, people at 34 can write like that.
We
20
just
years in,
don't grade on a curve.
Nah, y'all wildin'. What?
Not on a
20 years in the
curve.
game can't rap
You
like
either it's either it or it's not.
Like Nas?
Illmatic, man, it's like I still think y'all overrate that record.
That's the greatest album of all time.
No. It's not even the greatest New York record of that 12-month period.
What beats that during that 12-month period?
I'm telling you, I'm going 36 Chambers and I'm going
Okay.
Life. I'm going Ready to Die over Illmatic.
36 Chambers was tough. I'm not gonna hold
That
you.
shit is crazy.
those are debated. Like Ready to Die, people respect that. Like those are debated. Like those are some that can throw punches with Illmatic, but still, it's not clear.
Yeah.
It's not definitive.
Not Illmatic though. It's top 5. They're all in the top 5. Probably 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, but no. Y'all have a lot. Y'all have much better offering. See, in New York is different than out of New York. See, y'all, that's y'all shit. I get it. Y'all was like, oh, this is how we want to live our life. Feel me? So I fuck with that. But coming out, no, sir. It's not even top 10 coming out of New York.
Oh, no. What?
Coming out of New York?
Coming out of New York? No.
And that shit ain't fucking with Get Rich. Like in which world? On no level. On longevity?
Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't remember the impact? Because you were actually alive for Illmatic,
I remember. Right?
So you remember that? You don't remember the impact when it dropped?
I'm from Los Angeles. I'm from Watts. I grew up in Compton and Watts my whole life. No, that's not it. What it was to y'all was not what it was to us.
Okay. Interesting.
So Get Rich is that to us.
Okay.
Get Rich is that to us. That was like,
I remember
going crazy right now. Like how y'all feel like, nah, it's Queens niggas like, nah. When 50 drops, this Queens niggas going crazy right now. That's that shit. Like, so in New York, I think it became a precedence how y'all wanted hip hop to go forward and y'all wanted to live y'all life. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Like, it makes sense for y'all, but hell no. It was written. We fuck with it was written more than that shit.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
My favorite Nas album ain't even none of that shit. My favorite Nas album is the shit he wrote, after Khalees. You know what I'm saying? That shit my favorite Nas album. We had the green dress on the cover. Feel me? He chilling with the green dress. I fucked with that.
That was a good album.
That was a fantastic album. Niggas like with Marvin Gaye level with that album.
Nah, it was a good album, but it wasn't no fucking.
For me, it's way better.
Life is good.
Not even Stillmatic. Not even Stillmatic.
You know what? So I agree. I fuck with the impact of Stillmatic. I'm not. That's one of the ones where he was like,
okay,
this shit tough. But personally, resonating with me, Life is Great was like I felt like Nas was like, he like early Nas. I could tell he wrote a lot of things before he heard beats.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So him fitting a lot of bars over beats. Like hip hop starts at a flow. You know what I'm saying? It's about the flow first. Rakim kind of took it to that level where it was like the things you were writing down. But hip hop in its inception is really free and easy going. Early Nas is real stop the music. It ain't a breezy flow over it. You know what I mean? It's the impact of things that he's saying, but it don't have to flow perfect.
Someone try to make a case to belittle Illmatic, bro.
It's no belittle.
Ever in my life.
No, you can't belittle Illmatic. Again, we have to respect y'all presentation to the rest of us. We accept the gift. We just wasn't as impressed. It was other gifts in that time that we was like, thank you. That just wasn't one of them. We thanked y'all for 36 Chambers. Wu-Tang, come out here right now and do the Forum. This is where the Showtime Lakers play. This is an arena.
That's
they do the 36 Chambers. They doing the Staples Center. If Big could pop bucket, if Big could pop back out, you could fuck book you could book Big, fucking his fucking what's that shit called? His hologram at the Staples Center and do Ready to Die, and it's gonna sell out. Like that's what we said thank you for. Illmatic was like, that's all right.
That's crazy. I mean, a lot of Illmatic won't hear the club. Maybe that's why.
You will
You
never
gonna
hear
hear
Illmatic
Illmatic.
at the club ever.
That's what I'm saying.
You
But
not gonna hear no Illmatic at no party.
I, people our age don't bump Illmatic. You got to be with the old heads.
because
Like,
I mean,
we'll get
I'm older
rich.
than y'all. It's like I don't know nobody who bumps Illmatic, like unless I'm talking to like Crooked or somebody, Crooked Eye or something.
You'll hear Get Rich, you'll hear Ready to Die at the club. So I think that's where it may have resonated because with club records, they're more likely to have a broader reach. Illmatic,
Let's not even make it club. Let's just say party records.
mm-hmm.
Let's freeze the term club because club is all late and new. Let's say party records because hip hop is a party. It's a hop, right? It's a hip hop, right? So yeah, you won't hear Illmatic at a party, but I don't. So that's one issue, right? But then even on the block, it's just Illmatic is a good album. It's not like I'm saying it's a bad album. Like this nigga is getting off. He's a young nigga getting off, getting busy, really describing life. It was just it meant more to y'all than it meant to us. The way y'all feel about Illmatic is the way we feel about Get Rich or Die Trying.
but what's that West Coast record that you feel like is your
That's our Illmatic, the shadiest one.
Huh?
The shadiest one by Dub C.
Dub C.
Interesting.
Dub C is one of the members of West Side Connection. It's the shadiest one. The shadiest one is our Illmatic. Like Illmatic to me gave you all my New York partners made sure to press upon me that it described life in Queens and New York at that time. Like it was just nothing had described it that way with such finesse and grace and everything that New York stood for, that sophistication. You know what I mean? And it happened to be killer because it was from a nigga that wasn't old enough to buy alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's important. The shadiest one is that to me, for us. You know, if you go back into when I grew up, the shadiest one came out in 98. That would be what it was for us. If we talk modern time, it would probably be YG My Crazy Life. That's where you start to hear our lifestyle completely as like demonstrated on an album.
You wouldn't say Kendrick with Good Kid, Mad City?
No, because hell no. So no. Most of us ain't good kids in the Mad City. I don't think Kendrick was a good kid in the Mad City. I think Kendrick was a madman in the Mad City, but I liked it more as a hypothetical. I think he expressed it really well. I can understand why that's a conversation, though. That's a real dope project. But is we proud of the life we live. You know what I mean? None of us are ashamed. If you like somebody, like now, if you were somebody who got marked out and ran out their neighborhood, yeah, you probably like, I need to hear something because I hate this shit. But like, if you proud of it, if you live your life every day with a sense of pride and you grew up in it, like I grew up in it, I never got ran off. It's like my love, it's my heart. My friends is my heart. Like that pride is the shadiest one. You know what I mean? That's the stance of it. You know what I mean? Crazy life. Those are really, you know, how we live our lives. We gonna make the best out this shit.
So when I hear West Coast rappers, right, because I know that's where a lot of the gang life originated from. There's a few people that I wonder that are real rights. Is YG a real right?
I mean, shit from Treetop Pyru. Shit. Yeah. They claim him, he claimed them. That's how it worked. I can understand why people say that. You know what I mean? I can understand the questions, but YG is as much as a treetop as you're gonna be.
Okay. What about Game? Because you know,
so Game is a cedar block,
one
right?
Day, blood the next.
That's not fair because okay, so the story of Chuck is he grew up in Santana Block, but his older brother is a staple from Cedar, like a staple. You know what I mean? Like when you stay, like Big Face is a staple from Cedar. Like I heard a Big Face before we met. You know what I mean? So Game is, you know, almost like you know, it's hereditary. Like he's blood into the shit. So it's you know, it is what it is. That's how it can work at times. You born into it. Like he may not be born into Cedar every day, but he's blooded into the shit. Like it's his blood. That's why he was able to do what he was able to do. You know, his brother is really that guy. So he's naturally, you know, a part of it.
Blueface?
Shit, he got put on. Shit, Blueface is a baby still. We like 24 now. She been rapping, so Blueface look like a schoolyard to me every day, more and more.
That's really a set like Schoolyard Crips.
Hell yeah. Fuck,
Oh, well, I thought he made
fuck
that
you
shit up.
over too. Hell no. Them motherfuckers old as shit. Motherfuckers old niggas. Schoolyard, the old gang out the 70s.
Damn.
Yeah, they a real gang. All this shit is crazy, man. It's like see, so I get the confusion, right? Because how I came up, you born where you from. You know what I'm saying? You grew up there.
Yeah.
And then you but there's always these different scenarios. Like Kendrick is a West Side. Niggas are West Side Pyru. But West Side and Campanella is just like road dogs. It just, you from where you from, because this where you from. It ain't really something you really have to.
No, Kendrick
like if you're a stranger and you go walk up into somebody's community and be like, yo, let me get put on, they're gonna put you in the hospital and you're not from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So you like, it has to come with some level of recommendations. You know what I mean? It is a little unique where at times like somebody who was a factor can say, hey, this is my boy. We did this. We was in jail for 3 years together. This is my boy. We was in high school together. You know what I mean? This is my guy. And then you could bring him over and then with proper recommendations, he can be considered. You know what I mean? And he may get put on. But for the most part, it is very much a tribal community-based thing.
What about
Whack 100?
Oh,
Black 100 is a Pacoima nigga. Like that nigga is from, he couldn't even lie because that's not a place you would lie and say you from. You really have to be there. You know what I'm saying? That's a Pacoima Pyru nigga. But again, now is Wack a criminal? No, Wack ain't out there committing. Wack is fucking funny, man. Wack owns trucks. Wack got some money. Wack got, platinum hits under his label. Wack is not no fucking gang member at this point. Wack is a nigga that used to be from, used to live his life in the street, and he just started owning businesses and on the internet talking crazy and fucking with everybody. But Wack is a successful businessman that came from Pacoima and, was a Pacoima Pyru. But Wack ain't no criminal. Wack could be talking shit about his homies if you keep watching him.
What about Big U?
Big U was Big U before we ever met. But remember this, like, especially about gangs like where he from, like him and Nip, you know what I mean? Them gangs been around. Big U is probably a third generation. He's young.
Damn.
He's young over there. It's like niggas older than him. It's like, yeah, nigga, yo, that nigga the little homie. Like this is how these communities been around and they've been doing their thing and surviving and thriving.
What about Roddy Ricch?
Roddy Ricch is from where? So his brother is, again, it's one of them things where his family is all the same community. So like, come with the territory. Just how I go. Yeah, look, I can sit right here and start to say, hey man, all these people or this person is this and that, but I know their real circumstances. And their circumstances is exactly how it happens to some people. That nigga brother is somebody. His Bird, the nigga who run his label, Bird Vision is somebody. All they homies is somebody. He is pretty much birthed into it. It's just how it works. Does he remind you of every nigga from Park Village? He's a successful rapper. I met that dude when he was like 15. He's been talented forever. You know what I'm saying? He's a talented little dude. So if he sit around there and sell rocks, I don't even know if they sold rocks by that time, but he's as much as a Park Village as it's going to be. You know what I mean? Is he hanging out every day over there shooting? I hope not.
Well, so 3 regions in hip hop: the South, the East, and the West. Where would you rank them in order?
You can't do the Midwest like that. We ain't gonna do Bone and Eminem and Nelly.
Okay, yeah, we'll do the Midwest.
Common. They got some hitters. We can't do it like that.
All right, we'll do the Midwest. Okay. But rank them, please.
Without being biased.
Yeah, we just want to really hear number 1, but good.
It's hard, right? Because I can't really do that.
Yes, you can. Do it.
Personally?
No.
See, because it's gonna get personal. Like it's personal.
No.
Okay.
Wait. There's no way.
Let's ask a better question. Who is the 5th greatest rapper from New York ever? From the East Coast ever?
That's
because I'm gonna tell you why.
You got Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie.
Without counting dead people. Without counting legends.
What?
Because they're above the list. Because they're above the list. Okay, count.
Okay,
Go ahead.
all right.
Okay, Big at 3.
Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie. Pac is really from New York, but whatever. Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie. What's
Well, you go Wu-Tang? You going Wu-Tang?
I love who we have 4. Who is number 5?
we can do Wu-Tang.
Are we doing the old school? Or are we going?
You could just the 5 best since his 50 years.
Memory. Are we trying to?
Oh, I would do Rakim.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Give me the 5th best. Who's the 5th guy?
50 in there.
Rakim, 50.
Nikki.
Okay, give me. I need y'all to agree on who y'all 5th guy is, and then we had a conversation.
All right, so you have Rakim 4th, right?
Yeah, we got to throw Rakim in there.
Who'd you have 3rd? No, it was
Jay-Z, Nas.
Yeah, Biggie, Rakim. And who's 5th?
First one is important.
I think I would go 50.
50?
Would you not? Unless he's from the Wu-Tang, or unless you show love to the OGs with Run.
No, but fuck that, y'all. Where is it to y'all from y'all? Where y'all at?
All right, fuck it. We'll throw 50. We'll throw 50 on there.
Okay, is 5th better than Kendrick?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay, so then the West Coast
is before. As the lyricist?
Okay, so then the West Coast is before the East Coast.
No way! What the fuck?
That logic does not track. First of all, that logic does not track.
That's crazy.
First of all, I think Kendrick. I put Kendrick ahead of 50 all time.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So when you start getting to the 5th best guy, that's where things are gonna fall apart.
So you said we like the depth. We have the heavy hitters, but we like the depth.
No, we all got. So nobody has more. Because first off, y'all young, so y'all really don't know y'all. Like LL should have been in there. Like y'all got real depth. Y'all got real depth. But if you young, like y'all, hip hop pretty much started in the 90s.
So I want to know who's your 4 before Kendrick. That's what I want to know.
Listen, you Pac, Snoop, Q, you got Short right there.
You take that 4 against our 4? Come on.
Bro, we're smoking that.
Well, think about it, right? Short been rhyming before everybody you name, and everybody you name look up to Short. Jay-Z even has Short on records. So, bro, this is paying history to homage.
Let's be frank. He's humble, but Jay-Z's better than Too Short.
But again, it's not about if Jay-Z better than Short. I'm telling you, this is the qualifications why Short is where he's at. This is how long Short's been in. Short came out his first tape in '83. Like, it's Short, right? So I'm not saying I'm not going down the list of the 4. I'm telling you the problem is Kendrick is number 5.
You named your 5, and our 5 is better. That's how I.
But again, but that becomes. But the problem is that's all perception and based off what you like and what you think. Like we could say you could like somebody better than you like Pac. Are they really greater than Pac? Like it's all perspective.
If we were to compare, we can compare numbers. We can do album sales. You
can't compare Pac numbers because Pac numbers is going to be swayed because he passed away and his marketing is different. So he sold a ton of records.
But 50 went diamond. Who went diamond in the West?
Pac went diamond twice.
Pac went diamond.
That's my point. So that's why I wouldn't even talk about that.
For an album,
Pac went diamond twice.
After he died.
Once before and once after.
Before?
All Eyes on Me was on his way to diamond before he died. But this is my point. So you really can't compare those things. You got to really look at the depth. Once you get to the bottom of the depth, then you're gonna start seeing who's better. But I genuinely think it's a weighed argument. New York has had hip hop artists, a lot of them before everybody else really even started and had a fucking hand in the game. So it's not even fair to compare regions. So, but I'm telling you, if you start looking at depth, it's gonna get real funky.
So I got a question. We haven't mentioned him here today. We mentioned all these greats. What do you think about Drake? Where does he?
I don't think Drake is a hip hop artist. That's all.
So
I think Drake is like a mainstream rapper, like Madonna.
Yeah.
So he's not a street cultured person. Like everybody we name in is street cultured. They may not be criminals, but they grew up street cultured, flavored like from where we grow up at. Drake is a middle class suburban Jewish kid, you know what I mean, who grew up just kind of like it sounds fucked up, but it's not. It's just it's different. It's like comparing Madonna to like, you know, Mary J. Blige. It's not even. You know what I'm saying? It's just not fair. It's like you talking about somebody who don't have the burden of any culture. They don't gotta. Drake doesn't have to represent. He could be anything.
He didn't have to rap either. Like he would have been good.
Oh, he's fantastic. That it was great. He made fantastic rap records. That's the thing. Nigga, records fantastic. So I just wouldn't compare him to culture. I wouldn't compare Madonna to Mary J. Blige. You know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't.
Another person we haven't mentioned yet today. What about J. Cole?
I think J. Cole should be in those conversations. He's dope. He's like Tim Duncan to me. You don't really trip. You know what I mean? Because it's so basic and fundamental. Like J. Cole ain't never like wow, but every time it's like, damn, that nigga had a good game. That was clean. You know what I mean? And then you look up and this nigga got, you know, that nigga got 15 years of good games. You like, hold up, this nigga, you know, this Cole nigga be hooping. You know what I'm saying? And then you look up and this nigga's a first ballot Hall of Fame. You're like, damn. His career crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about Cole, where, you know, I'm one of the people who started the Cole is boring thing. And I stand by that. I think Cole is boring, but
what?
The Ferris wheel is the greatest roller coaster of all time. Ferris wheel been around for a long time.
I think that at one point I think he kind of grew out of that though.
Nah, he's still the same. It's just all rap. It's not. Even when he try to make it personal, it just don't resonate as well. But I don't think that's important. I don't want to even take time to talk about the things that I'm critical of Cole about, which they're not really critiques to me because he's fantastic as a hip hop artist. He's dope. Cole is dope. That nigga get busy, you know what I'm saying? And I like his songs. That's the problem. Like, I like his shit. I mean, I could talk shit about Rick Ross. Man, Rick Ross, man, that nigga named himself after somebody I know, or that nigga shit jam. I don't fucking give a fuck right now. We talking about music or we talking about resumes as far as, you know, who you are on these streets. And Cole is a nigga to me that get busy. You know what I mean? Do I think he's better than me? Yeah, that nigga's tough. I be listening to that nigga. I be like, that's pretty good.
So a lot of the people who have been long standing in rap, some people are opposed to the new era of hip hop. So what are some of the things that you like about this current era that the older era didn't have?
I love this new era.
Really?
Yeah, I fuck with them. Shit, I like drill. I like real drill. You know what I'm saying? No shade to nobody else, but I like drill. I like when Keith and them had it in their hands. I felt like that was a really dope expression. I love what Memphis is doing. I love how country they sound. I love how country they feel. I've been to Memphis. I feel the soul in it. I feel everything about it. Do we consider Ferg new? Because I think he's new gen.
You said Ferg?
Yeah.
Ferg. Like, I think Ferg is outstanding.
ASAP Ferg?
Yeah, I love Ferg.
Interesting.
Ferg is dope, bro. Ferg rep New York with like this kind of like a
unapologetic.
No, it's not. It's not quite like it ain't over New Yorky. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the niggas I grew up to where you be like, nigga, I figure me some Timbs, but it's like, yeah, nigga, this New York. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, and he does it with records that are different every time. I'll be like, damn, he flipped the shit out of that and made that a New York record. He does an amazing job of making New York a lot more. I don't want to say he takes seasoning off, but he can make any dish a New York dish. Does that make sense? Cause like he can take any dish and make it like he could start with a 3-6 dish, cook that shit up, and then that shit gonna have like New York flavors. And you be like, damn, this digestible. And then you be eating like this shit good. Like that nigga get busy with that. What's the other dude? Flipped the Michael Jackson song. He's dope. Man. You know who else I like? Young and May. Young and May before she went drill. Young and May before she went drill was special. Like that shit made me feel like when I was little and I seen New York niggas, I was like, damn. You know what I mean? It's like this confident, arrogant shit. Like she reminded me of everything I loved about New York when I was younger. So Young and May, like prime Young and May before she went drill Um, thinking of this dude. What's his name? Ah,
What part of New York you from?
The Polo G?
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
not Polo G. I ain't really into them just yet. They don't really have what it is for me yet.
Facts.
Takashi before he snitched was dope.
Interesting.
Takashi before he snitched had that shit. Like that nigga had some shit.
Hey
That nigga had
Boogie? Hey Boogie, you thinking of?
Hey Boogie. That nigga.
I love
Hey
him.
Boogie.
I like
Love
it.
him.
I fuck with Boog like when Boogie is really giving New York that shit. Cuz is like when he on his New York shit, I hate giving. God damn it. When Cuz is really off that New York shit, you be like, oh, this nigga, you know what I mean? But to me, Young and May had the best chance. Like Young and May reminds me of everything as a kid I loved about New York. This arrogance, wit, like, yeah, bitch, this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like songs like, yeah, yeah. She had it in her hand, you feel me? The other dudes, I like some of them too. I love what Florida's doing.
Kodak.
Yep. Kodak is probably one of the best guys, if not the best guy. He's just missing
Yes.
some records, but he's right there. Like his
I
whole
love.
bodies is nice. Like I've heard
I
a
love.
lot. So, but I'm I'm infatuated with everything Detroit is doing. I'm a huge Sada Baby fan.
Oh, okay.
Sada Baby is
Wow.
crazy. Like he's like one of the most entertaining rappers. He reminds me of like Busta Rhymes energy. That's who y'all don't give enough love to. Too. I meant to tell y'all that. Busta Rhymes is like unbelievable. But Sada Baby give me that energy, that feel. You know what I mean? ODB mixed with Busta Rhymes. You know what I mean? Where it's like, wow. From where we from, Blue Bucks, I love the fact that they bring in like bars to rap. I like that that's not really been a huge thing on the West, like where we like outside of Corrupt, where it's like bars. I mean,
Game has bars.
but Game has fantastic bars, but I don't think Game still told stories. Blue Bucks is like listening to Fabulous. If you heard Fabulous in high school.
Yes, well, yes.
Fabulous might still be a little bit better, but when Fabulous start writing, that's what Blue Bucks is like. You know what I mean? Like you like, okay, these niggas got bars. You know what I'm saying? They pride themselves in bars. It ain't no stories, ain't none of that. It's just bars every verse.
What about Dom Kennedy?
Dom is just smooth, man. You know, Dom reminds me of Too Short and Biggie had a kid. Right? It's the swag of Biggie, the swag and confidence of Biggie as an MC, but the simpleness and impact of a Short song.
Oh, okay.
Prime Short. So y'all never heard Prime Short. Go listen to The Ghetto. Go listen to Getting It. You know what I mean? If you hear, you know, you got to hear Prime Short to see what we loved about You know what I'm saying? About Short.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my homework.
Yeah.
What about? I don't know if you know who Larry June is.
I know Larry June is. I
think he's the best thing coming from the West right now.
I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
Larry June reminds me of Be Legit, and you don't know who Be Legit is.
Yeah.
But he's not quite as prolific as Be Legit, but the smoothness, the confidence, the posture of it all is a cat it's a legendary cat on the West and a legendary cat. He's actually, you know, E40's I think it's his cousin. So Be Legit is like go look him up. Like is unfuckwittable. Like that's who Larry June reminds me of. It is dope to see Larry June because it's like me seeing Be Legit win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I grew up listening to Be Legit.
Love that, man. Were you ever a Nipsey fan? Like before he died? Because
that's my friend, so it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? That's my partner. Okay, so it's like, I was always a fan. It's my nigga. Like we put out our CDs the same first year. You know what I'm saying? We worked with each other from the beginning to the end. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy.
Oh, wow.
Do I think, and so it's like, I think a lot more people became fans of Nipsey when he passed away. Yes. But I think that's because their ignorance didn't let him give him a chance. Man, when you're a gangbanger, dog, you know, you are automatically the villain in every film. It don't matter how empowering you are. People just think you steal old lady purses. You know what I'm saying? They just like I had to explain to somebody like, yeah, some homies got jobs. They're like, you mean some Crips got jobs? I'm like, most Crips have jobs. The fuck? is wrong with you? You know what I mean? But I guess the TV, maybe nobody had a job in Boys in the Hood, none of the Crips. So people think that nobody have a job, but most Crips have jobs. Most Crips, respect parents and they respect elders. And, it's just a communal thing. It's not like it's not this, it's wild in its time when it needs to be wild. You know what I'm saying? But it's, for the most part, it's a really fun and respectful thing as far as to elder Black people. You know what I mean? So I think when people see Nip, they like, damn, I could have gave him a chance. So now that he passed, it's like, damn, he was a regular person like me. That could have been, I could die. And I think it allowed people to give his content a chance, and they were sure shit in love with it. You know what I mean? He's a really bright and brilliant guy, a really loving, fun, really fun dude. Like Kendrick. Kendrick is funny. Kendrick, like the version of Kendrick that the world gets is this serious, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. But in real life, he's a fucking riot. He's fun, man. He's fucking fun.
Man,
like funny. That's my guy. He's fun. Like, oh man, he's the funniest nigga I know in the music business.
Wow.
All jokes. I'm sure he's grown. He grow up, but his sense of humor is like unbelievable. Wow. Busta Rhymes is serious.
Interesting.
You think Busta Rhymes is fucking riot and bullshit, but Busta Rhymes serious, and Kendrick, who you would think is, serious and always this, is just fucking funny and great to be around and will make you laugh the whole time if you know him. If you don't know him, he probably is like, the Dalai Lama. He just sit around and don't say shit.
Busta Rhymes threw that drink in that girl's face. I know
Busta Rhymes is serious, man. Busta Rhymes is gonna fight your motherfucking ass. I didn't fuck with Busta a couple times. Like, this nigga Busta be tripping. Not with me. Like, it's always respect, because I think he knows that I grew up. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up in the 80s, dog. I'm an 80s baby. So like I'm a Busta Rhymes fan, but it's like that. I be like, this nigga is so serious.
Damn.
No nonsense and shit. Like, it'll be a smile, but it's like, yeah, son, them niggas, son. You be like, damn, this nigga still on somebody up in this motherfucker, cuz.
You know who's a sleeper? I think he's from Watts too. J-Rock. I like J-Rock a lot.
Oh, J-Rock is nasty. Yeah, but he's been nasty from the first day.
Yep.
He got so much to offer the game. I was supposed to go by the studio and hear his new project. I'm like, I ain't told him, but I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to it as a fan.
Yeah.
I want to see what that feels like to hear it when it just comes out. You know what I mean? Not be a part of process, not answer questions on what I think, but like just sometimes just be a fan.
Yeah. Gotcha. He's different.
My final question: if you could only listen to 5 albums for the rest of your life, what would they be?
So 2001, Blueprint, that's a great question. Jamie Foxx's R&B album.
Which one?
It's like my favorite R&B album. It's crazy because I don't know the fucking name of it. That's how much I don't listen to R&B as much as I used to. I've been studying so much that I haven't really. Unpredictable.
Okay.
Unpredictable would be on that list. Made by Scarface.
Really?
Yeah, Made is like.
Oh.
Yeah, Made is like my life's theme. The first song was a song called Never by Scarface on Made. I wouldn't even try to say it's one of the greatest hip hop. It's my life's creed. You ever had music where it like this nigga like if God if God had a ghostwriter, it'd be Scarface. Like if God started rapping, Scarface would be his ghostwriter. That's how I feel. Like it's an upright attitude that doesn't exist in a lot of hip hop. Like it's a different type of upright where it's like, even if it's like, I'll never disrespect my mother, never disrespect her mother either. And the nigga make it sound hard. You know what I mean? But like, that's how it really feels when you come from where we come from. So Made to be on that list. 2001 Blueprint, Unpredictable, Made.
Illmatic?
I was just about to say that.
I've only listened to Illmatic twice in life, and every
That's
time I was like, these niggas going too hard, man.
what? That's
Niggas going way too hard for this. May unpredictable. You know what else I would have?
Yeah, Rich.
Thriller.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
And I
You really
think
can't.
Thriller, the song, is the most overrated Michael Jackson song in the world. Obviously, the video is the greatest video ever, but I think the song is the most overrated song in the world. But it's so many.
A lot of things overrated, it seems.
The song, because the
Bro,
song itself is kind of stupid.
If you really think about it, he got so many. Bro,
Man.
Thriller is not. That's not my go-to.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like my
I
favorite
don't
Michael
have
Jackson
feelings, I'm not gonna
song.
lie.
My favorite Michael Jackson song is on a project before that.
What song?
It's actually my favorite song of all time too. That's the craziest part. I'm just getting old now because I be forgetting shit.
It's mainstream.
Damn, bro. Huh? Where he's
mainstream?
dancing in the fucking light. Wow, god damn, man, I'm getting crazy.
What?
Hold
Dirty
up, man.
Diana?
Nah, forgive me, Mike. Forgive me, Mike. I'm ashamed, cause for real.
It was on Dangerous.
Rock with you.
Nah,
No. The first Michael Jackson album that we talk about is Off the Wall, but Rock with You. I wanna rock with. That's like the
Off
best
the
song
Wall
I
is
ever
a
heard.
classic.
Yeah, but you know why I won't fuck with it? Because it's too disco.
I think that's the approach
I
they
gotta get
was
my
going for.
Yeah. I can't fuck with that. Like I don't really fuck with nothing that came from the disco era except the BGs.
I love Rock with You. I love Rock with You. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, it's like my favorite song of all songs. All songs, period. Though.
That it's a vibe. For me, it would be. I love Remember the Time. That solidified it for me.
That's because a Harlem nigga did it, man. Teddy did that.
That wasn't
Teddy
Quincy.
Riley. That's Teddy Riley. Hell no.
I thought Quincy did all his shit.
Oh, not at that point. Teddy Riley took over at that point. He Mike worked with a few people. Quincy did all the early shit.
What about Dark Child?
Dark Child did something later, but you wouldn't really. That was Dark Child song. My love.
With Chris Tucker. Okay, that's the later shit. Okay.
Yeah, but Remember the Time is probably the most underrated Michael Jackson song. But that's a Harlem nigga, man. It's a New York nigga, man. Teddy is so nasty.
Nah, Teddy is a beast. I didn't know he was a beast like that until he did that verses with Oh Boy.
Yeah, Teddy is like way nastier than that though. Like I've sat in the studio with Teddy for a whole summer, man. And just
wow.
I thought like watching Dre and I've only watched Dre so much, but like I watched a lot of niggas do their shit. I watched Timbaland from a back do some shit. I watched Pharrell do little things. I watched Manny Fresh make a song for me. I watched some bad motherfuckers. When I tell you can't nobody fuck with Teddy Riley, nobody. Teddy Riley is like really that nigga though. Like, you know, he'll never get the credit he deserves, but he's that nigga.
Crazy.
Huh. And you said I remember I saw a clip of you talking about Lil Wayne. You said he's arguably the best artist ever.
Yeah. So if there's 5 guys like right, Snoop, Hov, none of the guys that passed away because it kind of conflates in Jay's legacies, but Hov, Dog, M and Wayne, they be right there. Wayne is like unbelievable, dog. Like I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit, right? So when I first started off, I used to sell PCP. Y'all call it angel dust on the East. I used to sell PCP.
That's crazy. That's a heavy drug.
Long story short, when I quit hustling, I met Game through some people I knew from that same shit. That's how I started fucking with Black Wall Street. And I remember working on my first CD. I was with Black Wall Street. Me and Face was working on it. Face was A&R, and I was rapping. My boy Guido was producing it. Some really dope cuts. White Lightning, I just put it on streaming sites. It's really dope. Mm-hmm. I remember rapping, right? And Game is working on a documentary. Game is doing mixtapes. And Game is going crazy. Like, this is 03, 04, right? Game is just going crazy. And I'm working on my project that's going to come out around the same time the documentary comes out. And I'm listening to him and I'm like, man, this nigga is really good. Like I thought Game was an A+. I was like, man, this nigga is really, really good. You know what I mean? Like, damn. But I looked at him, I'm like, okay, I could see things that I can do better than him. Now, did I
Mm-hmm.
overall think I was a better MC than Game at that time? Fuck no. He was better. Like he was really good. You know what I mean? But I thought that was like an A. I was like, man, this nigga's an A rapper. You know what I mean? He came out, he sells 4 million, you know what I mean? He double platinum in America, you know, five times platinum across the world. Like he is killing. I'm like, man, this is what an A rapper looks like. But I could see how to get to my version of where he's at, the best version of me to where he's at. So I'm like, oh, I'm right there. I just got to keep working. Until I signed to Cash Money Records in 2008. And I started working with Wayne. That's when I realized how whack of a rapper I was. See, before that, I thought I was a B-. I thought Game was an A. Then I realized Game was a B-. Forgive me, Chuck, no shade. Wayne was an A+, and I was a D+. That's how I realized how great rap can be as a rap song person. So I think, and to clarify the separation between Chuck and Tune, you know, Game and Wayne is, I think if they're both rapping 16s, Game could rap with anybody on the planet as an MC, if it's just verses. But once you include rap songs and making a great rap song, Lil Wayne is as great as it can be. You know, it's only a couple guys that are as great as it can be. And Wayne, if you once you go in the studio with him and you see it at that level, how I heard rumor all people ghost roll for him, Gilly, bullshit. Nobody write for this motherfucker. This motherfucker walks around the studio, turns on a beat, drinking tea, smoking weed, coming up with shit, and 5 minutes in there saying some unbelievable shit.
It's crazy.
And making songs same way. These are smash hit records. And he makes them like that, just sweat off his brow. So not only did I watch him fuck over verse after verse after verse, I watched this motherfucker do 10, 12 verses in one day. He don't even know who the motherfucker song is. He just like loaded up, killing, eating. Then turn around and work on a quarter 3. Like, oh, these songs ain't nothing. This nothing. Millie, watch me do a Millie. Boom, nothing. And I was like, I'm horrible. This nigga is I'm way off of what it looks like. Right now, I still am not an A as a rapper. I've been rapping now seriously I've been a professional rapper since 2007. So this makes my 16th season. I am not an A rapper today. At best, I am a B-. I'm where I felt Game was, right? Which I'm not the MC I think Game was at that time, but I think I'm a much better songwriter than Game was at that time.
Funny you should mention that, because I remember 50 Cent said the Game is a good rapper, he's not a good songwriter.
Well, and I think that's what even Fifth got it wrong. It's like a good rapper is a good rap songwriter. See, we want to talk about MCs and who could, put together verses. That's dope. But rapping has always been a professional sport. It's always been the rappers are judged by how good their rap songs were. So I think where he was wrong was to say he's a good rapper. It's like, no, Game is a proficient MC. He can MC. You put Game on in front of a crowd, no music, he gonna rock that motherfucker. He gonna say some shit that's devastating. But a rapper makes rap songs professionally, and that's how you judge it. So, Wayne was so great, it just made me realize how great I wasn't. And I had to just really go back to the drawing board. Like, it's like, I need to figure some shit out, because if I can't be much better than this is not going to work out for me.
How did you get discovered by Wayne, or how did you get that deal with Cash Money? How did you get signed?
So one thing we haven't talked about is Mac 10, right? Who was really one of the most underrated rappers, in the history of the West Coast rap scene. But he's also a really remarkable businessman. He gave me a situation where he wanted to work with me, and sign me to a label. And at that time, he was relaunching Who Bangin', so he wanted to sign me to somebody else. And he introduced my music to Birdman, because at one time Mac 10 and Cash Money were in cahoots, and he kept a great relationship with Birdman. So that's how they discovered my music through Mac 10.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been through some shit, man, and I'm not joking. Like, these are not things I'm making up. Like, this is real shit. Like, I'm not being humble. I'm not being modest. I'm not being arrogant. Like, man, when you see this shit, this hip hop shit at the highest level, man, it's different. You know what I mean? It's not. A lot of people just had this reckless arrogance or this silly self belief. Like, oh, I gotta believe I'm the best rapper. No, you don't. You gotta actually be able to quantify where you at based off what you're able to do. And most times you don't lack exposure. You don't have something good worth exposing. You know what I'm saying? And being in the room with Wayne and seeing that shit and watching how Birdman run that ship and watching Mac 10's understanding for how it should look, you gotta put in your work. Shit ain't no fucking punk, man. This shit's serious. Wayne, that motherfucker is so good at this shit, man. He is so fucking good at this shit. So good, man. That shit crazy, cuz that shit it's almost not believable. Like, motherfucker, don't. I stopped writing shit down on paper. Like, I start remembering my raps. I remember that motherfucker was like, man, you don't even smoke weed. You don't remember your raps? Like, you gotta write them down. Shit made me feel crazy. This nigga that smoked 100 blunts and know all his raps. And I ain't never smoked a blunt in my life, and I'm writing it down. It changed how I did everything. You know what I mean? That tenured over there at Cash Money Records changed a lot of shit for me. It was I made great money, but it was the most humbling experience I've ever had as a human being.
So you was around Nicki and Drake and all of them?
Right when they came in the door. I saw Drake as this humble dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, really humble, easygoing guy. I saw Nicki. She was a really cool lady. That was an animal that I always had a good pen. You know what I mean? And I watched their careers turn into the biggest things in hip hop. I watched Tiger. I remember this. You know what I mean? So I saw that shit happen in real time. And rightfully so, they were fantastic talents with fantastic people around them. In Nicki's situation, it was, Waka's mom. She was like brilliant.
Waka.
Deb is like
Deb is the OG queen.
You know what I'm saying? Real New York motherfucker. She know the game, and she put Nicki in great positions to be successful. Took her talent into fantastic, places and knew what to do with it. Drake, in his situation, he was dope, but 40 is unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know
40 made him.
These are the ones.
40 made him. 40 made Drake.
Tiger is the one guy to me that is self-made. He just figured it out. I don't quite know how. One day I'll have to ask him, but he just figured it out. It wasn't a specific person that did it for him. He never stopped, and he got something inside him. He got that it thing. You know what I mean? He is special. You know what I mean? But I watched all that shit happen. I watched that shit. I watched the Carter 3 happen in real time. I remember they played Lollipop, and I was like, man, this song ain't that tight. Then I saw the video. I was like, oh, I get it. This shit is crazy. I got a cameo in the Carter in a Lollipop video.
Was Static Major?
Yep. Yeah, I remember seeing that shit and not knowing what the fuck I was looking at. I seen the video and I knew. So when I heard the song, I was like, this song is just okay. Like, I don't know what the fuck y'all. This shit is cool. Then I saw the video. I was like, oh, this shit finna be crazy. Like, it made sense. So I remember being in Vegas for that video. And if you look at the end, like, I'm at the end in the mansion. That's the Maloof mansion. And watching that shit happen. This motherfucker, and I just told my partners this motherfucker shot a milli walking across the street from his tour bus to the video shoot of Got Money with T-Pain. That's the video shoot for a milli. Like, you really gotta fuck with this shit to get how great some of these motherfuckers are. These motherfuckers are great. You know what I mean? Y'all didn't get a chance to see Jay-Z in real time. I didn't get a chance. I saw it from a fan. Snoop, all this crazy shit, even Fifth. Like, you didn't see it. I watched that shit with Wayne. I watched Game, and I was just like, this shit is crazy, like how great hip-hop can be when it is great. Well, you like, damn, and the whole world is on their toes, like, what this motherfucker gonna do next?
Damn. Bro, you spitting balls for sure, man. I appreciate you, Mr. Malone. You get 2 hours worth of very valuable content, man. And you hurt right now. Yo, that's love right there, man.
Man, on the rehab, man. I'm ready to get back on it, man. Dropping this next project in June, man, and just taking this B minus and see what I could do with it. You feel me?
No, facts.
Trying to see if an A is even possible. You know what I mean? Like, but
Gotcha.
like, man, it's on. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a cold 24 months for niggas right now, man.
That's a fact. It's a fact.
Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go check out his music and his page and all that good stuff. All your heart's desires remain in the description. That has been another episode of Important Miscellaneous Talks. Thank you.